Guys, so in today's video what we're going to do is we're going to do gel application. So I'm going to show you the basics, the basic prep, and how to apply hard gel to your nail. And to be honest, I usually don't have any lifting, so if you follow these steps, hopefully you won't have any lifting as well. So we have a naked nail. I just push back all that cuticle. Now I have removed nails from me, so my nails are a little prepped already, and that's just because I removed all the product. So, but I'm just going to go in and show you. Push it back. So my drill is on reverse because I'm using my left hand now. I'm going to pull back my skin, and we're just going to go in and see if we can find any. I have a little still. Okay, that's all we need. Cuticle lid done. I'm going to take off that bit. We're going to put on a sanding band. Now I'm going to try my best to leave this in real time because I really want this just to kind of help, right? So clean. We have a sanding band. We're just going to go in. Now I'm just going to put this on 5. What do we have it on? Okay, that's 5. We're working on a natural nail. We do not need it to be rough. This is a 180 bit, by the way. And it's seasoned. It's been used. I've already used it on my other hand. So, but if it's brand new, make sure you season it. So I'm just going to go around the cuticle again. Well, nail proximal fold, really. And we're just going to do a light sand. I don't know. I go up like this. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. It's better that you go down, because you can nick yourself. But just take your time and do what's best for you and be careful. Okay. That's done. Now we are going to take a little bit of, I'm just going to dust that off. A little bit of alcohol. Now I want to get up in there to make sure that there is no dust. Okay. I'm just going to take this little file because my nail broke a little bit there. And just kind of do that. Okay, again, I think I have a nail tip right here. If I can get it. Now, your nail tip, this is the one that I picked. If I go from sidewall to sidewall, if you look, this nail tip is too big for me. So if I go right from there to here, oops. You see how it comes over a little bit? That's too big. We don't want to go up to fit it. We want to still have it right around this area here. So, too big. We can try another tip. Now, if that tip is too small, what you do is you stick it on your file. It's usually not giving a good example. And just try to file it evenly like that. Because this is not a very long tip, it's a little bit harder for me to do. Okay, we're still a little big, so I'm just going to go in and keep filing that off. This works too. Okay, now we are in business. So all we want, okay, is 4. So I'm fitting that side, and if you look over here, now I'm fitting on that side. So we're fitting on both sides. Ow. Now I'm going to get a glue. I'm just going to use whatever regular glue. Me and this glue had a whole moment earlier. Literally stuck all to my hand. That's how I haven't been doing gel for, I feel like, forever. I couldn't even get this to work. So we're going to put a little there. Don't do that. I'm going to actually go like this because I want it to be straight. We did it. We got a straight one. Now I can tell right at the edge that's not 100% down, and it is important to make sure that those little wings are down. So we're just going to do that. I get an old pair of tweezers, and I say old because I promise you they will get gunked up, and I just give it a little squeeze. A couple seconds, not that crazy. I promise you it will help. Okay, now we're going to go in, and any shaping that we need to do, this is the time to do it. Just going to make sure that's completely flush with our natural nail. We don't have a lot of filing to do there. Really hardly any, and we shouldn't because we just filed that down to fit our nail prior to that. Now the shape that I'm kind of going for is a, ooh, I filed that part. Kind of like a long almond stiletto swag. It's like a stiletto, but not as stiletto-y as these ones. These ones are very pointy, kind of poke your eye out. These ones are a little bit more rounded out, which is a lot easier to work with. So this is personally one of my favorite. If I want to go, like, to me this is short, so like a short medium length, I like this shape. So I think what I want to try as well is that I wanted to try, okay, so I'm going to try this primer, this French's primer. I wanted to give that a go, so I'm not going to use my young nails. I'm going to dehydrate. Actually, I lied. We're not there yet. 1 second. My bad. Need to file this nail down. So I'm just going to put my file on like 3. That's literally all I'm doing. Okay, I lied. I'm going to put on 5. That's too low. 5's a good number. And if you're comfortable, you can go higher on your drill, guys. You don't want to go too high on your natural nails. So here, if you're just going over that plastic or the gel, whatever your tip is made out of, acrylic, we just want to thin that out. So we're not touching our actual nail when going in there. Okay, again, one more alcohol. Don't be too rough. Remember, our tip is just held on by a little bit of glue, so we want to be gentle. Okay, so we're going to get a dehydrator. I'm just using the Moravian one. Sorry. Okay. And also waiting for that to do is to let my nail go white. That way I know it's all soaked in. Now with your bond, be sure not to touch your cuticle. So you want to take your time with this step. Now I usually go in with 2, so I'm going to do the same as I normally would do. Just over your natural nail. Give it a few seconds. We're going to use the Young Nail Synergy base. I personally love this base coat. And okay, let's get our gel brush, and that's just because I already had gel on this, guys, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Now we want just a little bit. There's not a lot on my brush. And then try to take your time with this. So when you're doing your base, you really want to go thin. You don't want to go too thick, and you kind of want to like work it in there a little bit. Really want to work it in the nail. Okay, and you can just run the remaining down your nail. Okay, we're going to stick that in the lamp and cure that. Okay, now that we're cured, we're going to take our Venalisa Clear, or whatever clear gel that you're using. And we don't need a big glob, so that was actually, I don't want too much. Small little pearly glob like this, let's say. Now we're going to go a thin layer. Now this is really important because you do not want to touch your cuticle area, your nail proximal fold. We want to stay away from that skin. We just want a nice thin layer. And the reason we're doing this is, I call it like, it's like your slip layer. So it helps guide the other gel that we're going to put on top of this nail. So, but yeah, it helps guide it. So basically, wherever you put that gel, the other gel will follow. So if you flood your cuticle with this gel, that other gel is going to go in there as well. So we don't want that. So, okay, we have a thin layer. Now let's just go on to be a little cautious. We're just going to take a little wooden stick. Just go around, make sure that you are not touching any of that area. Okay, and now let's go in our lamp for our, and we want a full cure on that. Let's just get her in there. So let's give that at least a 30-second cure. We'll be fine with that. And then we're going to use the Venalisa Apricot Pink. This is my personal favorite for just a basic nude base. I love the color. I think it's such a beautiful light color. So I would say this is the one I would grab it to most in all the Venalisa colors for like just a nude natural base. Okay. Now we want to go take a decent size and I just like scoop it up. Just scoop up your gel. And then you can twirl your brush if you like. That's what I do to keep it all on one side. You really want the gel to be on one side of your brush. That's what we're looking for. Now if you're not comfortable doing a big bead like that, don't do a big bead like that. But I'll show you what we can do so you can get comfortable. So we have a big bead. We have our nail. We're just going to go in the back. We don't want to go too close yet to the cuticle. Okay, kind of swirl. And then kind of try to keep your finger a little straight at this point. Okay. Now we can push our gel You're not really sticking your in it, you're just kind of moving the top of the gel. We don't want to really push into the gel too much because you can get air pockets that way. So I'm really trying not to do that. Okay, I'm fine with that. I know you're like, that's not even fully covered, but we're fine. That can stay there like that. Not a big deal. But if you're like, oh, you can push it down, move it. I'll show you just how to walk it out a little bit, just to get it a little bit more even, actually. Well, we have a couple air bubbles, so, but it's okay, guys. Like, it's okay if you get an air bubble or two. what we don't want is a whole lot of pockets of air bubbles, because that will weaken the structure of the nail. So that we do not want. So we're just going to stick this in the lamp, a little 15 or so, give it a good flash. Okay, we're going to get another medium to large size bead. It's probably a medium one now. And now we can work on our apex and get some structure. Now, if you notice, I'm not going all the way right to the walls, the walls of my nails, and that's because this gel is going to self-level. So it's giving me time to go down here and walk the gel out. While I'm doing that, the gel we're already placed out is going to slowly seep and go down to the sides. So it's actually just giving me a little bit of time. So it's less that I have to stress. And this gel I particularly like because it's actually a thicker gel. So it's not a thin gel. It's a pretty stiff gel, so it's really good for beginners to learn gel. It's not as loose as some gels can be. And if you feel like, okay, you're running and it's kind of getting a little bit too, flooding too much to the sidewalls, we will put our hand upside down. Okay. So we're just going to have our hand upside down for like a little, I don't know, 10-15 seconds. Not that long, but you want to leave it there for a few seconds at least. And then that'll help all the gel go down into the base of your nail and give you that beautiful curvature that we're looking for as well. And it will help with the filing. Okay, so now we're going to stick it back in the lamp. We're going to see where we're at and if we need to add any more, where we need to add it. And if we think we're okay, then we can go ahead and wipe off the sticky layer and go ahead and file. But we do want to give it a full cure at this point. Let's just make sure that everything is good to go there. Alright. So let's look at our structure. So our nail's not that long, so we don't need a crazy apex. Looks like we're pretty even. So I'm gonna make sure, because I can look at my other hand or my other fingers too and be like, is our structure okay? So it doesn't look bad. Okay, I think we're gonna wipe little gel wipe solution. We're gonna wipe out that sticky layer, and we'll know, guys, if the time we file it, we're gonna know if we have to add more, because maybe we overfile. Maybe once you start filing, you just realize, you know what, I want a little bit more of an apex. Like, that might be a possibility once I get in there. I might just want a little bit more apex, not that I need it, but sometimes I do like what a nice apex can bring, right? So I still want to have a similar look to this. That nail's not the best example because this nail always needs special attention, but you can see like how and what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and we will just give this a quick file, and we will see what we need when we come back, if we do need to add any other gel. Okay, so this is back out of the lamp now. Now I realized that I don't know what happened. I guess I didn't hit the record button fully or something. So we filed that down. We needed to add a little bit more product. So all I did after I filed it, I cleaned it off with my gel wipe solution, make sure that there was absolutely no dust on it, and then I went back in with the same gel. You do not need to add a base coat. You do not need to add any primer, anything like that. Gel will stick to gel, so you can just go right over top of the gel. Just make sure it is nice and cleaned off. There's no dust or anything like that. So I went in and I filled my little well. We just needed a little bit more product right here in the center, and then I went in and fully cured it. So now what I'm going to do is Again, we're going to wipe off the sticky layer. And because we didn't add a lot, we just added a little bit here. We can probably just go in and quickly give that a hand file. Nice light file, not too much. And if you find it easier to move your right hand and hold your left OMG. So hold your file with your left hand and move your right hand to file. Do that. Do whatever is easiest for you. If you feel that it's easier to just file with your left hand, then you can do that as well. There's no right or wrong way. Just don't nick yourself. So try not to overfile it, because then we'll have to go back and add more product. So we don't want to go too much over the apex because we've already done that. We don't just want to kind of give it a smidge. She looks pretty good. There's like a little, just almost nothing, but okay. I'm just going to go in with a buffing block. Or a buffer, whatever buffer you have. Move that out of the way now. Clean up all the dust. And there we go. Now, me personally, because I am right-handed, I am usually a little rough on my cuticles, but once we go put some good cuticle oil on them, they will look a lot better. But we're not here for that today. We're just here for the shape of our hard gel nail. So this is what we look like. I think we're pretty good. I can see a little bubble right there that I'm not a fan of. So I'm just going to go in a little straight. I think that's all right now. And all these little slight perfections and imperfections, guys, over time, the more practice you do, you know, the better we will get at it. Like I'm still learning my own self, but I hope me learning with you guys will end up helping you guys in some sort of way. So this is it. This is how the nail came out. Like I said, I was kind of going for that almond stiletto feel. There's like a smidge at the end that I feel like I could still need a little, but we get where we're going with it. And I think when you're filing too, especially with these style of nails, you don't want it straight. If you keep that straight, you're going to get a straight like line. You really want it oval. Like you want to like bend your file in so it rounds it out for you. Or down. I still have a ways to go to work on my shaping. I'm not even going to front and say like, oh, I'm here and I'm some like pro. I need to practice as well. But this is what we're good with. We're sticking with this one. So I do like the way it came out. We have our apex, which is very important. You want your apex to be around here. Now, the longer your nail is, the farther back your apex will be. I personally like my apex to kind of come from the back and out, but you want your apex to be basically right here in this like back third. And that is just, it gives you all where all your stress happens to go, so it prevents breaking, right? So we need that to be pretty thick, but you want your nail to come out thin, so that's why you'll see that it goes into this nice thin. She's not too thick. This is a stiletto, like pointed, so it's a little bit, I don't know, how do you say, like, I guess they can be thick too, don't get me wrong, but it's harder to tell with that rather than it is like a square or ballerina. So there we are. These ones are press-ons, guys, so these really no apex and are very thin because we don't have a lot of product on them. So you're going to see a difference even in these two, but my shape's pretty decent. I think I did pretty good. And you'll always have a different type of shape when you do it on yourself because you're building out your own nail. And I personally like this, especially for nails that maybe are misshapen in that. You can just get an overall better look. So there we go. I hope that this helped you guys and all. And now, okay, because this might be a thing too. So let's just do that quickly. Actually, I do apologize. So I'm going to go in and put a top coat on this nail. So we have gel. You can just go in with the top coat. Now if we were going to put gel polish or anything like that on this nail, I would go in with the base. Now the reason I would go in with the base if I'm putting a color is just because I wouldn't want it to stain my nail and it would protect my nail. If you're going with a natural nail, you need a base coat. Perfectly fine. That's not going to lift if you're going this way. Like I said, if you're going to go a color, put your base though. But a top coat over an extension like this, you don't need a base coat. That's not going to peel off. But you also want to go thin too, guys. If you go too thick with any of these products, any gel, anything like that, it will lift. You're not giving it a chance to adhere. So really thin is the key. I think that is what the misconception with gel, that you can just slap it on and cure it and go. It just doesn't work like that. Thin is always a little bit better with gel. It needs to cure, so thinner it is, it will cure and bond a lot better to whatever is underneath it. So there we go. That's our little thumb. Let's get a little cuticle oil on her because poor thumb needs a little love too. Did such a good job being a little model. And I like to put cuticle oil underneath my nail in there. Like that just went through a lot too, right? We want to get it all nice and then I like to just wipe off that nail. And there we are, guys. I hope that this helped some sort of way. And that's it. That's all it takes to lay down gel. And hopefully we get no lifting. I usually don't have a problem with lifting. I usually use Young Nails base, Young Nails protein bond, and then I also use a dehydrator as well. I'm going to try this primer because I want to see how this works. 2 Young Nails. These 4 fingers have Young Nails. So the thumb is our tester for this primer to see, because maybe not everybody can get Young Nails, or maybe it's a little bit cheaper of an alternative. We're going to figure that out as well, but this is the nail we did. Hopefully it helps, and I appreciate all you guys, and thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye!